So this is money market still. Question 4A, Kadzenga Limited. Kadzenga Limited is a Kenyan company with a substantial proportion of its trade with companies in the US. Kadzenga Limited invoiced a US firm 60,000 United States dollars, receivable 3 months from now. Receivable 3 months from now. Additional information, the borrowing rate is 3% above the bank base rate, while the investing rate is 2% below the bank base rate. These rates apply both in Kenya and the United States. Number two, the bank base rates in Kenya and the US are 15% and 10% per annum, respectively. Number three, the exchange rate in the forex market between the Kenya shilling and the US dollar are as follows. So they've given us the spot exchange rate there. We have 1 month forward rate. We have 3 months forward rate. So required, they want us to calculate the amount to be received by Kadzenga Limited using number one, forward contract. Number two, money market hedge. They would want us to offer some advisory there. They would want us to offer some advisory. They would want us to offer some advisory. So it's money markets and what here? Forward contract. Money market and forward contract. So of course, as usual, if I'm given the two, even if the examiner did not give me numbers there, I would want to start with the easier. The easier one there is the forward what here? The forward contract. And of course, you and I know that this is quite an easy thing. They simply want us to do two things, to provide two things. And a forward contract, they would want us to give them the amount involved. So amount involved, like in this particular case, ladies and gentlemen, the amount involved here, we are told it is 60,000. It is 60,000 US dollar. But now you have to tell me, ladies and gentlemen, this 60,000 US dollar, is it a receivable or a payable? Is it a receivable or a payable? It's a receivable, yes. You can see there, we invoiced 60,000 US dollars receivable in 3 months from now. So this is 60,000 receivable. How many months? 3 months from now. So meaning that the next thing that I would need, ladies and gentlemen, the second item that I would need here is the 3 months, not 1 month, is the 3 months forward rate. The 3 months forward rate, because you see 1 month from today, ladies and gentlemen, I will not be having this money. I'm going to receive this money in how many months from today? 3 months. So then I should be able to give them the 3 months forward contract rate. Forward contract rate. As the examiner given us that 3 months there, yes, I can see has given me 3 things. Spot exchange rate is today's prevailing rate. So I'll not pick that one for forward contract. Kadzenga is based in Kenya. So straight away, then, ladies and gentlemen, you are talking about who? You are talking about Kenya shillings. And if your local currency is the Kenya shilling, where is the Kenya shilling? It is on the left-hand side. It is on the left-hand side. It is the first currency here. And if it is the first currency here, then the first figure given here becomes what here? Becomes buying. So remember the concept of shaking your hand towards your home currency, towards your home currency. So if Kenya shilling is on this side, then the first figure, this figure which is on this side, becomes buying rate. And then this other one here becomes what here? This other one becomes the selling rate. The other one becomes the selling rate. So this concept of receipt always buys. So the bank will buy, the bank buys, the bank buys, bank buys at what rate? The bank buys at what rate? Are we able to see the buying rate? Bank buys at what year? At 101. The bank buys at 101 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Kenya shillings per US who? Per US dollar. Question ambayo wanafunzi walipotea sana, wengi walianza kuchukua pa 1 month forward rate. Wengi pia wakashindwa kudefine buying and what ya selling. Na wengi of course watasahau ile concept ambayo nimerudia mara mingi. Ukisikia swali ni receivable, unajua straight away receivable, the bank will buy. So then now you go to the last thing. The last thing here will be about you now exchanging, doing the very obvious. I'm exchanging, I know the rate. I know it is 101 Kenya shillings per US dollar. It means 101 Kenya shillings equals $1 equals $1. Then how about 60,000? How about 60,000 US dollars? How about 60,000 US dollars? So if you cross multiply here, it will be 101 Kenya shillings times 60,000 US dollars all over $1. So this and this will cancel out, giving me the many Kenya shillings there, 60,000. So in this case, at the end of the day, it will be Kenya shillings 60,000. If this came to your exam today, if you're doing an exam today, and then you got this kind of a question in exam, how many of us would get it correct? Forward contract. Forward contract, you can simply, yeah, me, I can see me, right? Forward contract, great. It's money market, so this is the easiest. Yani, kama ningekuwa Mluya, hii ni kama ile mboga inaitwa mrenda. Hii ndio the easiest. Money market ndio the easiest. Ladies and gentlemen, we look at money market hedging strategy. So money market hedging strategy, this is not even something that, I mean, this is something I should do with my eyes closed. For money market hedge, this is what I shall do. So for money market hedge, this is what I shall do. Number one, at the foremost, give me the amount. It is 60,000 receivable. The amount is 60,000 receivable. And ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, then go ahead and tell me one thing. Which rule? Remember, the market has got two rules. Which rule are we going to make use of here? Which rule? There are two rules. Money market has got two rules. Yes. So I'm going to make use of use the foreign boyfriend buys dinner rule. Because it is a receivable. It's not a payable. If it was a payable, then I would have known what to do. So ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very well. Because, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very well. Because this is a receivable, then I'm going to use this concept of foreign boyfriend buys dinner. Of course, this tells me from the word go that the bank will buy. It's important for us to specify this, that the bank will buy. Oh, I wish I were you. I would have written this thing very fast and ensured straight away that a yellow highlighter is on top of it. This one, a bank buys, yellow highlighter. Of course, not in an exam, for our revision here. Because of this buy, you know, it's not about dinner. Really, dinner is for us here. Dinner is for you and me here, right? But we know buy, the examiner would want to know, bank does what here? Bank buys. So this is so important to me. Ladies and gentlemen, after I've done this so nicely, I know that the next thing, ladies and gentlemen, will be for me to come and straight away do what here will be for me to come and straight away give them, draw a table for them. Please always ensure that you draw a table. Ensure that you draw a simple table. Ensure you draw a simple table. Iko wanafunzi unapata anachora sababu amefurahia meza sana, maybe this is the only question ambayo anajua, anaanza kuweka paka kitambaa juu. Ati sasa siku hizi hii kitu ya kuweka kitambaa iliisha fashion. Huwezi pata mtu anaweka meza kitambaa juu. Kama unaweka meza kwa kitambaa yako au kitambaa yako nyumbani, mimi ndo usininvite kwako. Siku hizi tunataka simple life, simplicity, just a table there, awkward table. Kitchen should be open. I should be able to see what you are cooking there. If I need to do something myself, I should be able to go and, fix something that it should be open. Mambo haitaki mambo mengi. Kativi kadogo meka pale, pana kata vitambaa mengi. Maisha yanataka simplicity. Simplicity siku hizi. Quite a simple. Ati sofa set pair sita, sijui pair ngapi. Ya kazi gani? Kipo namna hii. Very good. Hiyo mambo ya msansi takuja kuwafunza baadaye. Now remember, the first leg must always be what here? Must always be borrow. The first leg must always be borrow. First leg must always be borrow. The second leg here must always be what here? Somebody must always be invest. The second leg must always be invest. The second leg must always be invest. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. You are the ones who have told me foreign boyfriend. Borrow foreign. This means BF. It's borrow foreign. How I wish you would have written this somewhere, even in full. Foreign receipt, borrow foreign. Foreign receipt, borrow foreign. And remember, I've got two currencies. I have the Kenya shillings vis-a-vis what here US dollar, and this Kadizenga company is a Kenya company. So meaning that if I'm borrowing foreign, if I'm going to borrow foreign currency, then I'm going to borrow the US dollar. I'm going to borrow the US dollar. So in short here, I'm borrowing foreign, and the foreign here is the USD, right? And then on the other foot, because of the two currencies, the other currency automatically comes here. So in this case here, in short, I'm investing what here, somebody? I'm investing local, which is what here, somebody? Which is the Kenya shilling. I'm investing local, which is the Kenya shilling. In between here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to convert. There is an exchange rate. I'm going to convert always when the market makes use of what here? The spot rate. Always when the market makes use of the spot rate. Always when the market makes use of the spot rate. So convert at spot. So have we been given the spot rate? Yes. If you look at the table there, they have given us the spot rate. They have given us the spot rate. The spot rate, they have told us it is 103 to 105, 103 to 105 Kenya shillings per what year? Per US dollar. It's 103 to 105 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Kenya shillings per US dollar. So of course, it has been given to us as a range. One of these must be the buying rate. So for me to know which one is the buying rate, I'll straight away look at the expression of my exchange rate between the two currencies. Where is my home currency? It is the Kenya shilling on the left-hand side. The left-hand side. So the left figure here becomes buy. This other figure in this case here becomes what here? Becomes sell. It's not lost on me. The fact that you guys told me our foreign boyfriend buys dinner. Our foreign boyfriend buys dinner. So in this case here, what do we have? This must be the buying rate. Buys. So buys at what rate? You simply write there, buys at 103 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Buys at 103 Kenya shillings per what year? Per US dollar. This one here buying rate. So are we together, ladies and gentlemen, up to here? Are we together up to here? Are we together up to here? Are we together up to here? Great. Now, after that, now, ladies and gentlemen, I need my rates of interest now. This is what very many students were not able to do in this semester. This is what very many students were not able to do in this semester. However, I know that you guys are very clever. I know that you guys are very clever. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me not belabor on the fact that always money markets makes use of which conversion rate? The spot rate. Always money market makes use of which rate? The conversion rate. Or rather the spot conversion rate. Spot, not 1 month forward, not 3 months forward. It is always what here, somebody? It is always the spot. The spot rate. It's always the spot rate. Now from there, ladies and gentlemen, now I would want to fix up my interest rates. Note number one. Note number one, we are told the borrowing rate is 3% above the bank base rate, while the investing rate is 2% below. So meaning that we have the base. We have the base here. So we have the base, and then we are told here, we have Kenya, not two, Kenya and the US. So Kenya and the US. So the bank base rates in Kenya is 15%, and in the US is 10% from note number 2. So then I have, ladies and gentlemen, here I have borrowing, and then I have investing. You can start with any, really. So long as you know that borrowing has got always what here? A bigger value, a bigger interest borrowing rate, always. So I go back to note number one. Note number one, they're telling me that the borrowing rate is 3% above the bank base rate, while the investing rate is 2% below the bank base rate. This is a good examiner. He's telling me that regardless of which country, the borrowing rate is 3% above the bank, above the base rate. So meaning that here borrowing, I will take, in this case here, my base rates. I will take my base rates. I add what here? Consistently, I add 3%. So this one here will be 18%. This one here will be 13%. Borrowing rate is 3% higher compared to the base rate. Higher, so you add. How about investing rate? 2% below the base rate, 2% below. So the base rates that you have here, we have 15%, we have 10%. For the investing, please come and subtract consistently there. Come and subtract who? The 2%. Come and subtract the 2%. Come and subtract the 2%. So then what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? Here we have 13%. Here we have 8%. Hello? In an exam, is there somebody who would have done this correctly? Hello? In an exam, is there somebody who would have done this rates, would have analyzed this rates correctly? Thank you very much. You guys are geniuses. Thank you very much. Most students were not able to do this. Most of them were able to draw the table. And then when it reached here, ladies and gentlemen, they could not now fix the rates. So of course, your guess is as good as mine. These guys here now are left with just decorating the table, because what else do you do in an exam? If you're not able to really, if you're not able really to do what you're to really fix these interest rates, if you're not able to do a money markets question, chances are in this exam, your biggest thing will be to be staring at the ceiling and praying to your God. And of course, God does not listen to somebody who is not hardworking, right? Correct. Borrowing rate is 3% above. Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, then could you kindly come and tell me? Remember Kenya, what are we doing? Kenya, not Kenya, but borrow foreign. So in this case here, US dollar, in the US, we are borrowing. So is there somebody who is able to give me the borrowing rate in the US? Is there somebody who is able to give us the borrowing rate in the US? Yes, you can see US borrowing rate is 13%. But remember that this 13% is a whole year thing. 13% is a whole year thing. So meaning, ladies and gentlemen, that at the end of the day, I need to prorate this. This has to be prorated. So do we know the number of months? Do you know the number of months? 3 months. So this one here times 3 over 12. Of course, plus the 1. I'm so sure nobody now is asking where this 1 is coming from. Even if you don't know, just cram it. At times cramming, it's also a concept of what here? Learning. It's a concept of learning. So then could you kindly come and give me, ladies and gentlemen, come and give me this figure here. Give me this figure. It's 1.0325. 1.0325. Then straight away, jump to the other leg. So this other leg, now we are investing Kenya shillings. Is there somebody, ladies and gentlemen, who is able to see the investing in Kenya shillings? Somebody who is able to see the investing rate in Kenya. Investing rate in Kenya. Is there anybody who is able to see the investing rate in Kenya? Investing rate in Kenya, this is Kenya. I have the borrowing. I have the investing rate. It's also coincidentally 13%. Coincidentally, this is 13%. Coincidentally, this is what here? 13%. Coincidentally, this is 13%. It has to be prorated plus 1. So which will end up giving me what figure before I answer my own? The same figure, I suppose. The same figure, I suppose. The same figure, I suppose. 1.0325. 1.0325. So Mayom is asking this 3% and 2%. What are they really? They can't be discounts. This is straightforward English, Mayom. Look at note number 1. They've given us the borrowing rate is 3% above the bank base rate. So meaning what? Take the base, add 3% to get borrowing. Base is, borrowing is always higher. This can never confuse me. Borrowing is always higher. So I have to increase that to be more than the base rate, right? So for the borrowing rate, both of them I added 3%. Both of them I added 3%. And then, ladies and gentlemen, from there, we have here investing rate is 2% below my own from root note number 1. Investing rate is lower. If you go to a bank today, ladies and gentlemen, investing will always be a smaller. Even these guys are so good to give you something that is 13%. I mean, who gives you that for investing? If you put money with them, these guys will give you a peanut, very small, something very small like that. So my home, are we together there? Don't take this to that language of Addis. I can see where you want in this case here to. This is quite different. Straightforward, really. Straightforward. If you start in this case here taking that one is a premium, the other one is a discount, you are misplacing a concept there totally. That concept of a discount and a premium, we normally use them to get like forward rate out of some spot. That's quite different. That's when we are handling money, not when we are handling these percentages. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, from there, what I'll do now as a good boy, I'll come and delete this very nicely. So once I've reached there, now I'll bring the money in the question and hide it. You hide it. The money in the question and then you hide it. So money in the question, how much do we have? Money in the question, how much do we have? Money in the 60,000 US dollars. You guys are great. So you get another person in this case here for lack of knowledge will come and put these 60,000 US dollars there. And then this guy will call me immediately after the exam. How the paper has been good. How do you put goats and sheep together? This is US dollar. It cannot be, it has got really nothing, not compatible at all with what here with Kenya shillings, nothing. So these 60,000 should come on the leg of US dollars. So come and put 60,000 US dollars there, like that. And then now from there, your role this morning is to move across with these 60,000 across, 60,000 across. Up, what do we do? Up we divide. So 60,000 divided by this, please give me a figure to write. Up, divide. So give me a figure to write. Give me a figure to write. 58, 1111. 58, 1111. And of course, they're still what here? US dollars. They're still US dollars. And then we have across. Across, we have an exchange to do. Across, we have an exchange to do. So it is 103 Kenya shillings equals 1 US dollar. Equals 1 US dollar. So how about 58, 111 US dollars? Is there somebody who can do this cross multiplication for me? Is there somebody who can do this cross multiplication for me? 59, 85, 59, 85, 59, 85, 59, 85, 59, 85, 472, 472, 472, 472, 472, 472. So please ensure that you are a rich man. Any man who goes to trade in the stock exchange, any man who goes to invest in the stock exchange, ladies and gentlemen, does not use decimals. You must learn the art of saying keep change. You must learn the art of saying keep change. So how did we get this 58,111? Up, divide. We took 60,000 divided by 1.0325. Up, divide. That's how you cram it, Baba Akeyo. That's how we cram this. That's how we cram this. 59, 85, 433, 433. Avoid those decimals totally. Avoid the decimals totally. So pick this figure without a decimal, right? Pick it without a decimal. So I'm being told it's 433 there. All right. So then this one here will give us what figure? This one here will give us 6179, 6179, 960, 960 what here? Kenya shillings. 960 Kenya shillings, 960 Kenya shillings. Now, Mayomi is asking, I meant for foreign payment borrow local, would one divide at borrow and multiply at investment? Mayomi, we don't want to cram this thing that way. So long as you have, if for example, it was to be the other one, maybe this 60,000 would have come here, US dollar. So what am I supposed to do? Up, divide, down, multiply. Up, divide, down, multiply. I don't want to go like this policy. Should I multiply up? That really will be too much for me. That will be too much for me. Actually, I sympathize with your brain. You want to overwork it for nothing, really, right? How you'll put in this case here, for example, an engine of an Audi in a Toyota. Don't overthink, no. So long as I know where to place the figure, then up, divide, down, multiply.